Albert Cronkite in our newsroom, and there has been an attempt, as perhaps you know now, on the life of President Kennedy. From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago. Vice President Lyndon Johnson has left the hospital in Dallas, but we do not know to where he has proceeded. Presumably, he will be taking the oath of office shortly and become the 36th President of the United States.
On November 22, 1963, John F. Kennedy and his wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, traveled to Dallas, Texas in order to campaign for the upcoming presidential election of 1964. Thousands of citizens and supporters lined the streets, patiently waiting for an opportunity to see the president as his limousine paraded through the streets of Dallas. As the limo passed through the streets, JFK waved and smiled at the Americans lining the sidewalks. At 12:30 p.m., the presidential limo turned onto Elm Street and proceeded into Daley Plaza. It was on Elm Street at the west end of Dallas that the nation witnessed one of the most shocking events in United States history. From the corner window on the 6th floor of the School Book Depository building, an assassin waited to fire at the President of the United States. As the limo passed this building, shots were fired at the president. Most agree that a total of 3 shots were fired, and that the third and final was the fatal wound to JFK's head. After the shots had been fired, chaos broke among the crowd. Many ducked in fear, while others covered their children. The presidential limousine immediately headed for Parkland Memorial Hospital in Dallas, Texas, where JFK was pronounced dead at 1 o'clock p.m. Approximately 2 hours after the president was pronounced dead, JFK's coffin, Jacqueline Kennedy, and Lyndon B. Johnson boarded on Air Force One. It was at this time that Lyndon B. Johnson took the oath of office and became the 36th President of the United States of America. Several days of grieving followed the assassination. The entire nation watched as JFK was put to rest at Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. After the assassination, authorities worked hard on locating an assassin, and nearly 45 minutes after the shooting, they located Lee Harvey Oswald, an ex-U.S. Marine Corps and known supporter of communism.
Like legal representation, these police officers have not allowed me to have any. I don't know what this is all about. I didn't shoot anybody, sir. I haven't been told what I'm here for. You have a lawyer? No, sir, I don't.
To Dallas, Texas, and Tom Petty.
Being let out by Captain Fritz. There is the president. Yeah, but there is Lee Oswald.
He's been shot. He's been shot. Lee Oswald has been shot. There's the man with a gun. It's absolute panic.
absolute panic here in the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters. Detectives have their guns drawn. An ambulance now is coming here. This will be the ambulance to take Lee Oswald. Here he comes. Here's Oswald again. He is now lying very pale on the stretcher. He's being put into the ambulance. Captain, where will he be taken?
I'm assuming Parkland Hospital. Mr. Oswald died at 1:07 our time in the operating room of the gunshot wound which he had received.
And unless something quite extraordinary happens now, history will hold Oswald guilty of the assassination.
Oswald was shot and murdered on his way to Dallas County Jail by a man named Jack Ruby and died on November 24, 1963, just 2 days after he allegedly shot the President of the United States. He never had a chance to testify in court. Just 5 days later, the Warren Commission was formed by Lyndon B. Johnson. The commission's main goal was to investigate the assassination and provide final conclusions on what happened on November 22, 1963. Of the most controversial issues, the commission attempted to explain the single bullet theory. The commission concluded that one bullet passed through 15 layers of clothing, shattered a rib, went through 7 layers of skin, struck the knot of JFK's tie, and shattered a wrist before being found in perfect condition upon the stretcher of John Conley. To this day, many do not accept this conclusion drawn by the Warren Commission. After nearly 10 months of investigation, the commission had drawn its conclusions. First, they said that Lee Harvey Oswald was the only assassin and acted completely on his own. The commission also determined that Oswald fired the only shots from the 6th floor of the depository building. Finally, they concluded that shots were fired from the weapon that was recovered on the 6th floor that was determined to be the sniper's nest. In a survey taken in 2003, nearly 75% of Americans said that they did not believe in the conclusions drawn by the Warren Commission, but did believe that a conspiracy existed to some extent. Americans may never know the precise details of that fateful day in 1963. The lack of concrete answers has caused the case to continue in the minds of Americans as an unsolved mystery.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.